hello there, humans, hippies, earthlings, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and whoever you are lucky enough to be doing it too. I'm Bushka on Blitz, and gee, I'm a busy boy at the moment. I've just finished doing some material for a Panzer B2 review, which is an absolute love fest. Everyone on the forum's been asking for it. Everyone in the comments section wants a little bit of B2, the duck bunker. So I've been doing that this morning. I've got a podcast at 1 p.m, I think. I'm queued in for my good mate Alex from Wargaming. We're going to have a chat about various things, including the M60 and the upcoming nerfs to medium tanks. So make sure you listen to that podcast. And this is a tank, the AT-15, that I started doing a few games and it had a whinge. I was in the patron-only Telegram chat channel, and Dave, sock robber from Blitz Stars, who made the wonderful tool, if you're not using it, I use it a hell of a lot, Tank Compare. The URL for that is tank-compare.blitzstars.com. I'll put the URL up in the section underneath as well. And I had a whinge about this tank when I started it, because the first couple of games I got left on my own, and this happened. Basically, I got overrun by hordes of really, really fast tanks, and he took me to task and said it was an amazing tank, and I stuck with it, and gee, I was happy I did, because this is a joyous tank to drive. For all that it has some enormous deficiencies in its speed and mobility, and its crazy, complete lack of gun elevation, it also has some incredible positives, and we're going to bust through those, and I'm going to talk about the positives. I'm also going to talk about the negatives, and I'm going to talk about how you should be driving the tank and how you can make the most out of the tank as well. And it doesn't have a complete lack of gun elevation, it just doesn't have a lot, which is pretty important for certain situations, like when you want to pick the gun up. It's got 10 degrees of gun elevation. It's also got 10 degrees of gun depression. There's a few do's and don'ts. I accidentally had supremacy enabled with this tank. Do not do that. This is a terrible tank for supremacy. It is a horrific tank for supremacy, because of all the things it's really good at, one of the things that ranks up there as being the worst at is it does 20 kilometers an hour, and you will end up in situations like this where everyone just stays out of your way until the cap runs down, and then they all come along and play Let's Gangbang the AT-15. It's also a tank that shines if you have a platoon mate. And the reason for that is that this tank has hilariously good DPM. It has the best damage per minute in its tier for a TD. For anything, it's an absolute monster. At 3,500 damage per minute once you run gun rammer, vents, double rations, you are going to be pumping out in excess of 3,500 damage per minute, which is pretty much head and shoulders above every other tank in its tier by a big margin. You also have the most ridiculous dispersion. So if you can get a platoon mate who will actually hook up with you when you're driving this thing and watch your back, like you saw Mojo do for me there, and get rid of the guys who come around and try and side hug you and get behind you, this thing can absolutely belt people senseless. And it's an actual fun tank to run when you're running it with a T28 or something else that's big and slow, because you move along at the same kind of pace, and you're both tanks that no one really wants to get stuck with. I want to give you a look also at the armor profile. It has what can best be termed a very, very trollish armor profile, and you're going to see you want to hide the right-hand side of the tank as often as possible. You can see in the silhouette there the driver's hatch. Now that's a big weak point. The IS-3 Defender runs 220mm a pen on its AP and about 270mm a pen on its heat rounds. I'm pretty sure that's right. I wrote it down earlier and I just checked it's right. Good on me. You want to be moving backwards and forwards and side scraping with the AT-15 when possible. And even if you're in an open field, you want to be doing that. You want to be jiggling it, wiggling it, moving it back and forward, getting it on like Donkey Kong, because that big hatch there is a horror show. You do not want to be showing people that hatch. At close range, it's tough not to get hit with that, but wiggling helps. At long range, it's less of an issue as long as you're moving about. Because the armor is actually quite strong. You can turn it and angle it, and you'll see in a second that when you're moving backwards and forwards like that, and if you can balk a shot out of an opponent, you can actually then duck back and hit them, because your gun arc is amazing. It's got the best gun arc of any non-turreted TD in its tier. That's 25 degrees. That gives you a 50-degree frontal gun arc. It also means that when you're running this, you can run it with binoculars and move the gun around an awful lot and get shots without actually moving your tracks and breaking binoculars or camo net if you want to run it with camo net. I run it with vents and a rammer. Maximize it DPM. Absolutely maximize it because it's brutal. And you can see there what I mean by as you turn and the gun arc. Look how wide that gun arc is on the AT-15. And you can see all these slightly red tinges and deep red tinges on the tank. And when you press the hammer on it and drop adrenaline, look how quickly this thing is firing. It is absolutely ridiculous. It will burn a tank to the ground. I mean, look at it go. Non-stop, and it's the kind of fire that a lot of people ignore. You'll find a lot of tanks will actually move out on you once you're fired and not realize. Now, it's also got 10 degrees of gun depression, which makes shots like this possible. I mean, this is obscene. I'm really heavily angled here with this tank. There's not a whole lot of easy to pen surfaces, lots of different angles and ridges, and with the 10 degrees of gun depression, the 25 degrees of gun arc, I'm going up on an incline, and this is a brutally tough tank to pen at this kind of angle and this kind of arc. And yet, you can see it just doing the business here and getting shots all the time. Bouncing a lot of shots too. It's a tough tank. It can burn. Like the DPM, you're going to see here, I'm with Mojo, and we just pick a target and drive forward. And because you're both doing about 20 kilometers an hour, and you can see you drop adrenaline, you put the APCR on, and you just keep pressing the button. And you just simply burn stuff like Defenders and IS-6s down to the ground. They don't have much say in it at all. I really, really enjoyed that factor of the tank. The pen's an issue. Look, you've got the best aim time of any TD in your tier. You've got the best DPM of any TD in your tier. You've got the best gun depression of any TD in your tier. You've got the best gun arc of any TD in your tier. And your dispersion is otherworldly. It's one of the best dispersion numbers in the entire game. 0.266 after you've run your vents, your double rations, all that malarkey. Your gun is an absolute laser beam. With a quicker, look at that dispersion. Look at that circle. You're firing a shot basically, you know, look how quick that bloody reload timer is. 3.2 seconds and it's back. Oh, really good. And it will just burn stuff down. Where you're going to struggle is the pen is not that great. The pen is actually horrific. It's only 226 millimeters of pen, which is like, you know, an IS-3 Defender. It's like a heavy tank, BL9 IS-3 kind of pen. And you've got 250 odd pen on your APCR. The joy of that is that it is APCR, so you don't have to worry about spaced armor or anything. And you can see here, I'm wiggling and jiggling and wiggling and jiggling and moving about all the time and just getting shots off constantly. It's enough pen though. It's not bad pen for a TD at tier 8, for a tank at tier 8. It's just bad pen for a TD in comparison to its peers. And it's more than enough to absolutely dose up anyone that's silly enough to sit in front of you for any length of time at all. The gun just sold me. The gun sold me. It absolutely sold me. The traverse, the gun depression, the DPM, the aim time, the accuracy. All amazing. The things that are going to suck. If you play this solo, it can be rough. It can be rough. I found a lot of times where I was just the last tank left and someone would get on my back and you were dead. But the damage will get you. It will talk you out of a lot of situations where you should otherwise be absolutely wrecked. Like this, and we're going to lose this. But you can see this IS-3 Defender. It's that kind of damage that a lot of tanks don't pay attention to. They think you're not that big a deal because the alpha is only 190 alpha average damage every shot. You've got the 20 pounder. It's the OQF 20 pounder AT gun type B barrel. 18.94 rounds a minute is hilarious. You can auto track everything. Like you just start shooting at a track, a drive wheel, and you'll keep it stuck. And if you get smart and you can play, you can see I'm bouncing shots here, using the armor profile, turning. That IS-3 thinks he's got some time. He's got no time at all. I mean, we were in a horrible position there. We outputted, I don't know, 2.2k damage. No problems at all. Got the job done, despite being in a horrific spot. It's such a lovely, fun tank to drive. And I've got to recommend this as a absolute bonza platoon tank. If you can get this tank and drive it with another big slow tank that you can help each other with, or any kind of tank that's a heavy or something that has some mobility, that can move around and protect this tank, it is an absolute gunship. I really, really enjoyed it. So hats off Sock Robber too for talking me through it and pointing out the good parts of it. The tier 9 gun on this thing is absolutely hilarious. I mean, you're dealing with all kinds of tanks out there, and the general consensus at this tier is you're running 120mm or 150mm guns on your 30s and your JP2s and your T28s and your Protos. Your BL10, like the absolutely legendary when the game started out, the BL10 on the Object 704, on the ISU 152. These are big guns. The Borsig with the 150mm. You're running this tiny little 20-pounder. And yet, the secret is that people don't really respect the tank. A lot of people just don't have a clue what the tank can do. And they end up in situations, you're going to see a few of them in this game, where people just ignore you. And suddenly, 10 seconds has gone by. And you've put in 4 or 5 rounds. And, you know, they're down 1,000 hit points. You just keep getting shots. You look at this thing. That T-69's ducked over the top of that hill. And we're going to smack him in that short period of time. Bang, bang, bang. 3 really quick hits. And again, I'm in this game with Mojo. It's completely useless on its own versus lights and mediums. You'll get Circle of Death. They'll get on your back. They'll side hug you. They'll take you to task and absolutely rip you to bits. And that's fair enough because you've got so many other things going for you. You have to have some kind of weaknesses. Always remember to post on this tank. And by that I mean, like, you'll see how I'm setting up on my, all the time, I'm angling the tank on the left or the right-hand side so that the armor is absolutely at its highest, most effective. I'm getting a sore thumb just playing the game with this thing. Look at it. It's non-stop. It's tap, 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 tap. You're going to have to learn to pick between moving forward and camping the back. It's a tough one. It's a lot easier when you've got a platoon mate. It's a tough tank if you don't have the platoon mate. You can see, I mean, look at that. And you can see I'm posting again. I'm just getting it, that gun over that front left drive wheel and angling severely and then using the rocks and just jiggling and wiggling all the time. I mean, you'll make an absolute killing out of it if you learn to always angle and wiggle this tank in the open field, especially. There is a fine line with this thing between pushing and shoving and actually sitting at the back and being a bit of a camper McCamperson. And there's nothing wrong with that. You've also got a lot of maps where you don't have a choice. Like, for instance, Falls Creek, I'm a huge proponent of going the flank, but you're too slow. You're 20 kilometers an hour with absolutely horrific traverse is not going to get the job done for you. So you've got to go almost frontally ASAP with tanks. And that's fair enough because you're better off engaging someone and getting them in front of you than you are being caught in the middle of a big open area by a medium or a light tank. And that's exactly what can happen. You can see I'm telling Mojo there, off to cap. Like, see ya. And this is, you're going to have to get used to this because lots of tanks, they just won't come near you. Like, there's no reason for them to, and that's fair enough. You don't want to be that guy that just sits at the back and then doesn't move when the time to move is there. And the time to move is now, obviously. And this is what I'm talking about. You're going to see here how 2 big, ugly, slow tanks like the T28 and the AT-15 can actually leverage off each other into decent damage and decent numbers and protect each other. Because Mojo is just grist for the mill if he's caught by either of these guys in the RU or the T6 Dracula, both of whom appear to know how to play, which is a tough gig for Mojo, but so am I. So what are we going to do? We're going to get together and defend each other. And that Dracula is going to be the guy to watch out for. I'm in the cap circle, but I've got plenty of time. I'm just going to hold that cap and hit the Drac as he drives. I mean, look at this gun. Obviously, just an absolute... Look at those 2 shots. How can you not love this Tier 9 gun? I mean, this reminds me a lot of playing the Comet when it first came out. With that just hilarious. At the time, the hilarious rate of fire that no one else had. And even, I mean, relatively on-the-move shots like this are still things that you can get done. It's just such a lovely tank to drive. I really, really enjoyed it. I want to thank Stockrobber for giving me the shout-out. He's the man who runs Blitz Stars. Check out Blitz Stars if you want to check out your stats. And make sure you run that fine line. If there's a lot of other fat, slow, heavy tanks like you, follow it along and do your best. If not, maybe go to the back and camp, and always try and keep a rock or a building or something next to you so that you can scrape off those pesky lights and mediums as they come up and try and circle of death you and get behind your gun. Lots of podcasts coming up. I'm doing the live Twitter podcast on Friday. So add me at Bushka on Blitz is my Twitter handle. And then just hashtag Bushka on Friday. And I'll pick up the questions that people are asking and start talking about them and using them as topics. I've also set up a forum for patrons. I have a forum for patrons now, so they can put suggestions for videos and things in, and I can put the calendars in for the events and everything that's going on with Patreon there, and upcoming videos and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really, really happy with that. That took me a little while to sort out. And yeah, lots of cool stuff coming up. Don't forget that podcast with Alex today from Wargaming. That's going to be a great giggle fest. Tomorrow we are going to be having a look at the Panzer B2, and that should be an absolutely fantastic. Just so you know, the verdict on the Panzer V2 is that it's overpowered as hell due to a couple of really important factors, and it's every bit as strong as it was when I first got it years and years and years ago. Absolutely monstrous. I'm Bushka on Blitz. I love you all. Thank you so much for your support and your continued patronage and turning up and listening to me warble on about all kinds of rubbish. Look after your families and stay safe on the battlefield. And also, shout out to my good mate, Matt. Look after yourself, buddy. We all love you.